attendance sheet in my Google Sheets right. That makes sense to me. That's really unfortunate.
I have
Yes.
all the senators if Jordan has all the reps.
Hmm? Right off rip, like you can just do it, or you have lists. You have
I
lists.
have a list of all the senators. Does someone have a list of all the reps?
Um, okay. I have a list of I have all of it, but I don't know if it's totally up to date. Okay, so I'll go through it and then if I didn't say you, I'll take notes. Sorry, guys. Is that all right? Good? Okay, we're gonna start. I'm here, Cynthia, or sorry, Vice President,
Here.
Joshua Bohm,
Here.
Dylan Lehman,
Here.
Jordan Thompson,
Here.
Nate Fang,
Here.
Jason Leclaire,
Yep.
Zoe Stankovitz,
Here.
Olivia Britton is excused, Israq,
Here.
Kyle Ricker, Gray Vanderwood,
Here.
sorry, I forgot I was also taking notes. Ezekiel Delorme,
Here.
Ryan St. Lawrence,
Here.
Dennis Stewart is okay. This is old. Okay. Joseph Elliott,
Here.
Riley St. Pierre,
Excused.
Casper Cowan,
Here.
Briar Chapin, Kai Whitehead,
Here.
Helena Dana,
Here.
Sky Van Beek,
Here.
Isabella Lamadrid,
Here.
Kayla Kearns, okay,
Oh, sorry, excused.
Christian Moragordian,
Excused.
Deborah Collmore is excused, Zilog,
Here.
Ethan Craddy,
Here.
Hazel Sparks,
Here.
Callum Blatt,
Here.
Taylor Stanford, Haley Inman,
Excused.
Marissa Schultz,
Here.
Jonathan Harper, Lauren DePoe, or Emily. Okay. Kenzie Karpinski,
Here.
Alex Emery,
Here.
Jackson Gamble.
Here.
Okay. And everyone else, I'm just gonna take from in the, you know what I mean, when I can see everybody's names. And Cynthia, you can just keep going.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm
Mhm.
now looking for approval of the 11/25, 2025 minutes in this agenda. Senator DeLorme.
I move to approve the 11/25/2025 minutes in this agenda.
Hearing a second, if it's the pleasure of the Senate, that is approved. We will now move into general good and welfare where any non-member may address the GSS for no more than 5 minutes. Do we have any speakers? Senator Vanderwood?
Yeah, just clarification. Do you want us to use a hand raising function when voting? Or should we unmute or like nod our head? Like, what's the drill?
Yes, I'd like people to raise their hand and yes, thank you.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
All right. Seeing nothing under general good welfare, new senators, officer appointments and resignations, club maintenance or club presentations or guest speakers, we'll now move into their executive reports of the president.
Hi guys. Um, Zoom Senate. This is going to be interesting. I'm glad everybody can be here. Um, Housekeeping, VP Shelmerdine agreed to sit on the Steve Gold Award Committee, so thank you to her. Tonight is still executive evaluations. I wanted to say that please feel free to be critical, but also be sure to be constructive. These are to help us improve. Take them seriously. I know you will, but in the past they haven't been so. This is my fifth evaluation, and the ones that are constructive are useful and when the feedback is substantive. And I know they take a while, but bear with it and make sure that you approach all of them equally. And thank you in advance for that. And then this is the last meeting of the semester is next week. So we're going to be wrapping stuff up, and I'm glad that we did end up having this meeting because that one would have been super long if not. Moving into old business, the GSG legal proposal. So I spoke with the GSG president and she informed me that the proposal will be considered next semester for a vote. It will be introduced to their Senate this Friday at their final meeting because I'm under the impression that they do they introduce it to their Senate and then it gets tabled and then it's moved and then they vote on it at the next meeting. So that'll be kicking it to next semester and that's all right. But I hope that will amount to something this year. And then library changes update. Okay, so if you recall earlier this year, I shared a proposal from the library, the dean of libraries, about changes to be made. And we had everyone had a chance to give the feedback. And then it was then handled by a faculty senate committee that Senator Collmore sits on, who's not here today, but I know he's been attending those meetings, and I'm sure you can give us an update next week. But I wanted to share an update that was given to me that I think is going to go out soon. I hope it is. But I'm going to share it now either way. Effective immediately, Fogler Library will be closed during administrative leave. So this means basically Fogler staff will no longer be considered essential employees with respect to inclement weather. So when there are snowstorms or when like school closes for snow, the library will no longer be open either. And furthermore, beginning in the spring semester, so next semester, Fogler's library regular hours are going to change. I'm going to read them out now because it's a kind of significant change, pulling it back an hour. So Monday through Thursday will be 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday will be 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday will be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Sunday will be 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then with regards to holidays, Fogler Library will remain open on Patriots Day and Labor Day, but the latter only when classes are in session and only from 10 to 4 p.m. But will close on all other holidays observed by the university. And that is basically word for word that email. So let people know. I think that we should probably, when we go into next semester, have a post ready to put on our Instagram. And I suppose if people have feedback, it should go to Senator Collmore, but it is a little bit late, I think. Moving into new business, I sent the Communication Act to Urge to everyone that was listed in the resolve section. I'm very proud for UMSG to getting to the point where we are using this consistently. I want to express the sanctity of acts to urge and just kind of give a little bit of, now that we're using them a little bit more, talk about them. They're powerful because they are rare and they carry the weight of the student body. And I'm not saying that we need to stop doing them or we're doing too many. I'm just saying that keep that in mind as we move forward. And please continue to take them as seriously as we have been. And I think that the email was well, and I haven't heard anything back, but it was right before school closed for the day. So I will update people if they get back to me. Vice President Shelmerdine and I had our meeting with President Farini Mundy. VP Sharmadine gave several updates about the Maine College of Engineering and Computing's Student Advisory Board and the Ambassadorship Initiative, and she also addressed the Communication Act to Urge with her kind of preemptively, and I'll let her expand on that. We also followed up about the concert proposal. So if VPSC Lehman doesn't hear back by Thursday, I'm going to follow up again. And we talked through concerns around the Spruce Budwin Lab. She thanked us for our due diligence. Me and VP Sharmadine kind of played detective last week. And on the topic, I'm waiting on confirmation about information from Dr. Meck, director of the Spruce Budwin Lab. I was hoping I'm sure it's just taking some time. She's busy, and also we've had a weird week with the snow day. So we also began a discussion around wage increases, and she said she was going to familiarize herself a little bit more about the nitty-gritty of that for our next conversation. And then finally, I'm going to be having a meeting with Provost Paquette around the syllabus repository, and I have some updates on that. I'm having a meeting scheduled for next Tuesday at 9 a.m. to iron out concerns that faculty senators have so we can move forward there. I'm hoping to have the GSG resolution in tow as well. That's going to be considered this Friday in GSG. And I think I might be there for a little bit to answer any additional questions, but I promised them that I would leave the room so they could debate it because I think that's fair. And I'm hoping that will pass, and then we'll be in an even more stronger position as we go into the conversations with the faculty senate. And that is the end of my report.
Moving on to my report, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving break. And I'm sorry for the two back-to-back very unusual meetings. I've never had a Zoom Senate before, and it's interesting having Senate from the floor of my living room. Um, I would be amiss if I didn't address last week's meeting. As a reminder, or for the Roberts Rule tip of the week, we must meet quorum in order to hold Senate and to not only for the meetings but conduct any business whatsoever. Without quorum, students can't receive their funding and policy and resolutions cannot move forward. And last meeting, although the day before break was an especially important one, with three of the largest guest speakers of the semester were scheduled to actually attend. We were supposed to have Dick Young, who is the director of auxiliary services, then Joel Farley's the director of facilities management, and then Ryan Ward, the director of space management. Joel and Ryan were going to be presenting on the capital investment projects and major upcoming changes to UMaine. And then Dick Young was going to be presenting on the dining and residential halls. And unfortunately, I had to call and reschedule our guest speakers. Originally, they were supposed to be for today, but they're going to be for next week for our last meeting. So be prepared for constructive comments or whatnot for that for next week. But I had to reschedule for last week because less than an hour before the meeting was supposed to happen, I had 14 call outs. And that is kind of concerning considering we only have 22 senators. Thank you to those who called out ahead of time. I really do appreciate it. But many of them came in almost 30 minutes before 6 o'clock and when we're supposed to start the meeting. And that was really, really unfortunate that that happened. It was professionally a little disappointing. It created a lot of stress on our end. And thank you for VP Fang for trying to reach out to everyone to make sure that we were in quorum so we could pass our important resolutions, especially our act to urge. And yet we only had 8 out of 22 senators present. I know that it was the day before break, so I do apologize that on my end scheduling the day before break, but before that day, I only had 4 people who said they couldn't attend, and so I had assumed that no one would be calling out a couple hours before. But in the future, I guess we shouldn't probably have it on that day. But I hope everyone reviewed what we passed that meeting. The act to urge regarding communication is a major step forward for addressing the siloing and disjunction that's long affected this campus, for not only administration but department decision making. Moving into next semester, I really hope for absences can be communicated in more of a timely manner and I will not accept day of excusals unless there's a emergency or you fell sick. Moving on, in the meeting King and I had with Joan yesterday, I'll be reaching out to people in the enrollment regarding the engineering ambassador program that I'm trying to start up again after meeting with the past advisor again today. For the MCEC, this can be similar to how we're setting up the SAB boards, how we're starting with the engineering college and then expanding it to the others because of the overarching goal of trying to enroll more students. This is a really large project that I won't be able to get to this semester, but I will be starting next semester, and I'd love to collaborate with any senators interested, as this would directly affect all of your guys' colleges. Similarly, for the SAB boards, President Freedy Mundy and Joe invited me to speak during the dean's meeting to show the other deans what we've done for the engineering college and how it can be useful for their students. When I try to replicate this into other colleges for next semester, I will need help of the other senators for each of your colleges to help run the initial meetings and help get the ball rolling. And I think this is a great way for you guys to branch out and really represent the colleges who you're here to give voice for. I just got out of my alumni meeting, as in like 10 minutes ago, or 18 now, where we voted on the 2026 Alumni Awards, which I was glad to represent for the undergraduate student body. I'd like to remind all committee chairs that your binders must be put together and your meeting minutes and notes should be done by next week. This is important in preserving the work you have done, but also for passing down information. So if there's a new chair, they know where things are left off. I emailed all of you around 2 weeks ago, and I hope to see more progress on this. And starting next semester, our Director of Communications will have a committee that will be available for everyone to join. As our jobs expand and UMSG is doing so much, it's important that we're able to effectively communicate with the student body for this information. So it's important that senators have input on how this is done. Not only that, but with the scale of which we should be doing our outreach, it's a lot more work than just one person should have to do. So if you have any questions, concerns, want to join, reach out to our DOC or me. And that's the end of my report. We'll now be moving on to the Vice President of Financial Affairs.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to start off with my traditional report. We have a starting projected and allocated figure of $136,539.24. Zero returns to an allocated, no transfers, no budget lines added, no office budgets, and no consent agenda today. Today, for resolutions that we'll be hearing, we have Club Swim for the remainder of their tier funding, as well as baseball, also for the remainder of their tier 2 funding, both for a total of $1,156.55. IFC for the request that we heard from Panhell last week to the NGLA conference. TAPI is presenting on 2 trips that are going to be taking place over break, and then holiday bonuses, which I'll be presenting, which I'll get to later in the meeting. And then for what I've done over the last week, just this morning, President Tripp and I met with the lead RAs of all the on-campus dorms. And because I'm also an RA and we want to see if we can kind of get the ball rolling on an on-campus representative function, seeing as we have a community representative function through the committee. So trying to have something to promote that. And other than that, I think that's my week.
Vice President of Student Organizations.
Not much to report on this week because of break, but I did want to reiterate that in committee this week at SOC, we'll be reevaluating the Honors College SAB and reshaping that committee. So if you have any input, reach out to me. End of report.
Vice President of Student Entertainment.
Hey everyone, so we had 53 tickets used last week at Black Bear Cinemas. The Beat UNH shirts have officially been ordered, which is very exciting. They will be handed out at this Friday's game. Huge thank you to VP Shumerdine, DOC Leclerc, and the lovely Pam Alden, AVPFA Alden, if you will. We do need a couple of volunteers to help hand those out. So if you guys could like talk to me or just show up at the Alphon between 4:30 and 5, that would be perfect. We have 800 shirts. We're gonna give out all of them. It's very exciting. The students love them. Can't wait. I met with the station manager of WMEB, and we were looking to do some sort of spring music festival, very similar to the fall music festival. And we're going to be meeting with Lori to discuss this further. But if you're interested in helping out with this, please join SEC. We will be doing the final survival kits again this year in partnership with CSI. We did stress toys last time, which was very fun. So if you're interested in helping out with that, or like maybe we don't get stress toys, maybe do something else, also join SEC or just let me know. I had a meeting with James from CSI and we discussed spring semester plans. The big thing on our docket was Winter Carnival. He and I hope to spruce it up and make it something that's like worthwhile and the students will actually enjoy. So if you're interested in that, again, join SEC. And then I'm still waiting on stuff to make an announcement about the concert, but hopefully I can make the announcement this week or next week. So I will try to keep you guys as in the loop as possible, but again, a lot of the stuff that I deal with is very confidential, so I can only announce it when I can announce it. But announcement soon. End of report.
Vice President of Student Leadership.
The leadership scholarship email will hopefully go out tomorrow morning. Thank you to Lori. Tonight you're all going to see a policy amending the timeline, which I can go into more detail later. And once again, the retreat will be Friday at 4 p.m. in the Bangor room after SOC. We're going to do a Robert's Rules training mixed with a resolution writing workshop. This has been a very resolution forward Senate, which is great. So, so I encourage all of you to show up, if possible. There will hopefully be like a team competition aspect with prizes. Thank you, SLC, to help me flesh that out. So I'm very excited, and hopefully I'm also going to get Chinese food for that. And okay, never mind. I guess that resolution won't be going through. My apologies. Um, and I would be remiss if I did not thank Senator Craddy for joining last week to hit quorum because I had to run out in the middle of the meeting and call him and wake him up to join. And thank you, Senator Craddy, for doing that. End of report.
Advisor to Student Government.
No report.
Are there any questions for the executive reports? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to periodic reports, starting with the Faculty Senate Student Representative. Do we have that report? Seeing none, the Chair of Fair Election Practices Commission.
Hi, everyone. Next week, there should be a timeline going through for the executive elections for next semester. As long as there is still Prolly Pro this week, which it sounds like it's on the same time as the retreat, so I'm not exactly sure. But that should be going next week. End of report.
Student Legal Services Liaison.
No report.
Representative of the Graduate Student Senate.
No report.
Orono Town Council Liaison.
I will be meeting with, or not, I will be planning meetings in January with Councilor Demerit to decide which changes we can make to the to the town ordinance going forward, and hopefully we can have something to the Orono Town Council before the end of next semester. End of report.
Does anyone have the Old Town City Council Liaison report? All right. Representative of Military and Veteran Student Affairs.
No report for this week. Still waiting for a text back.
And then Director of Technology.
No report.
University of Maine Security Representative. Does anyone have that report? The Center for Undergraduate Research Liaison.
No report.
Are there any questions for the periodic reports? VP Thompson?
I think you forgot the DOC.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw your message earlier and I thought that was in reference to this.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Director of Communications.
Yeah, okay, just let me pull that up real quick. So please fill out the Senator Spotlight form if you haven't, which is like half of you senators. I currently have no one to post for this week, so there was no post this week for that. I'm gonna start compiling some content ideas for next semester. I'd really like to get more senators, your committees as well as reps involved. So please, if you think of anything or you want to be involved in content, let me know. I'm really excited to receive people's feedback tonight. I really want to learn and grow and better myself from that. So please, kind of like Keegan said, be harsh and be honest with it, because it only makes us better. And a report.
Thank you. Are there any more questions for periodic reports? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to reports of standing committees, starting with policy and procedure.
Hello, everyone. Big day today. President Tripp touched on this at the beginning, but please be respectful in your executive evals. I will explain more how the process works for those who are new when we get to them. But that's it. End of report.
Services?
If you were in the services committee, we are meeting Thursday from 4:30 to 5:30. Highly encourage you guys come just because I want to get some of the reports from the night walk processed in. Other than that, end of report.
Does anyone have the report for academic affairs? Seeing none, does anyone have any questions for the standing committees? All right, we will be moving on to reports of special committees, starting with holistic health and wellness.
Hi, everybody. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving break. Not much to report. I'm still going through the results of the survey, and I am putting together a couple infographics on some mental health services on campus, and I'm hoping to get those to the DOC at least one before break so that we can get something out to people. End of report.
Food and dining affairs, does anyone have that report? Undergraduate student symposium?
Our next meeting's tomorrow, so I'll let you know next week. End of report.
And I do believe the Voter Involvement Education Committee, that is in the Google chat, which I can read out in a moment. There's been a lot of developments and ideas thrown around after meeting with both Keegan and then later the Political Science Student Association, besides working on the website in an effort to finish our sections before finals week, but we will also discuss action plans for next semester and the new political science journal the website will be hosting. Wait 1 moment. End of report. Now the non-traditional commuter and transfer students committee.
No report.
Are there any questions for the special committees? Seeing none, we'll move on to representative board reports, starting with the Honors College student. Oh, sorry, that's vacant. Interfraternity Council. Does anyone have that report? Seeing none, Panhellenic Council. Do we have that report? Student Athletic Advisory Council. Senior Class Council.
Hi, everyone. So next Wednesday, December 10th, we're going to be having a fundraiser at Watch. So be on the lookout for posters and Instagram posts about the event, along with my report and here to provide the fundraiser more detail. A portion of the proceeds from any purchase this special for the event will be mentioned throughout that day. Will be doing the cost, and there is 158 days in program.
Sustainability Environmental Action Division.
reporting on the sustainability environment-related club activities in the semester. Public continuing into next semester. As far as horticulture clubs go, they've done some plant propagations as well as information sessions, waste minimizers doing mend and revive workshops, trash pickup days, collaging, and more environmental related lectures. Green team has done pots, campus cleaning, craft bench for make it reusing things, a mending workshop, and more outfit making and more reuse workshop.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the representative boards? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to community association reports, starting with Student Heritage Alliance Council.
The Student Heritage Alliance Council didn't meet last week, but we have some really cool updates. Next week, on Monday, we're going to be hosting a lot of the cultural clubs together to build gingerbread houses for the holiday season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Currently, we have the Canadian Center up to donate some of these materials. So really grateful to them. Next week are going to be, or is going to be the last week for the cultural clubs to meet. They're not meeting on finals. So if you're curious about any of them, just let me know and I can give you their information. And then we also have a really big event planned for next Friday, the 12th. And it's going to be Gus Lacasse, who is a Franco-American violinist coming in to perform for the end of the semester in Crossland Hall. Like I have a poster, which I can also send in the chat, but that's going to be kind of the, hopefully not the last, hurrah in Crossland, but whatever it comes to, this is going to be a really great time. So, I hope to see many of you guys there. And that's it, end of report.
Wildstein.
So we are officially entering drag show season. I'm hoping to make this year's show the biggest one yet. I'm really excited to share how that process goes with everyone once we start to dig in. Another important event to remember for next semester is Lavender graduation, which I know is not until the end of the semester. But if you are graduating and would be interested in getting a rainbow cord, it's important to keep your eye out for that. Signups for that should be around March, April, at end of report.
International Student Association.
No report.
Accessibility on campus. Seeing none. Does anyone have any questions for the community association reports? Alrighty. I'm now looking for a motion to suspend the 5-minute recess, to suspend the rules to take out the 5-minute recess. If that is something that a senator would like, you can go ahead. Senator DeLorme.
I motion to suspend the rules and take out the 5-minute recess for this meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Hearing a second. If it's the pleasure of the Senate, that is adopted. Seeing nothing under the consent agenda or unfinished business, we'll now be moving on to new business, starting with 46S EBC 158 for Club Swim.
Point
Is
of,
there
don't we have to vote on suspending the rules?
Oh, my apologies. Hearing a second, we'll now enter discussion on suspending the rules.
فرض مثال لك ويك ياك
Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor in suspending the rules? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. We'll now be moving into new business, starting with 46S EBC 158 Club Swim. Do we have a speaker?
Yes. So basically, club swimming is a tier two sport right now. We practice 2, 3 times a week in the Wallace Pool in the Memorial Gym. And we are requesting the rest of our tier funding just because of some of the charges we get from athletics. Our bill for just the month of October was $1,140 from athletics, and since we're tier two, we get $8,000 a year if we get the rest of our tier funding. But that's just a lot of money, so we want to request that amount to kind of make up for that. We did host a meet in October, so it was a little more expensive, but these are costs that's something without requesting the money that we just can't keep up with. So.
Great. Are there any questions for our speaker? VP Bohm?
Point of information, tier 2 at max tier gets 5,000 and not 8,000.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, 5,000. Yes, that's what I meant.
Are there any more questions for our speaker? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
6-0-0 ought to pass.
I'm now looking for approval of the committee's recommendation. Senator DeLorme?
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Hearing a second, we'll now enter discussion. Seeing none, any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. We'll now be moving on to 46S EBC 159 for club baseball. Do we have a speaker?
Hi, yes. For club baseball, we want to offer to have it available year round, and thus we went farther into the playoffs for this semester, and thus cut into more funding than we expected to. So to be able to offer it year round, I was be able to request more to max out our tier funding at 5,000, to be able to have games and be able to stay at other trips for against other opponents that will cost more over the course of the semester. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for our speaker? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
6-0-0 ought to pass.
I'm now looking for approval of the committee's recommendation. Senator Sparks?
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Hearing a second, we will now enter discussion. Senator Vanderwood? Okay. Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. Moving on to 46S EBC 160 for IFC. Do we have a speaker? Mm. Seeing no speaker, VP Baum.
Just a quick note on this resolution. One of the stipulations that we added in the resolution was that there would be an IFC member to present on all resolutions. Because in EBC, IFC did not show up. And I feel like this is a failure to meet that stipulation that we added, that they would present resolutions and to the Senate. And so I think this should not be considered
Yes,
because
so
they should. Yeah.
I would like to see a senator motion to table this. Senator DeLorme.
I'd like to make a motion to table this EBC resolution. Is there a time period that we need to till next meeting? Would that be the
Yes, till next meeting.
motion to table this till next meeting?
Hearing a second, we'll now enter discussion. Seeing none, debate. President Tripp.
So, like, I'm not entirely against this motion, and frankly, Josh, I'm glad that you made it because it gives me a chance to explain why I presented on it in EBC in the first place, and to also contextualize the resolution so people do kind of know why it's coming through and what it's for. It's essentially for the incoming executives to go to like the national training, like the Pan-Hellenic Council came through for last meeting for those who remember that. And I think it's something that is important because I think it's fair to say that there have been times where maybe we've been less impressed with the leadership coming out of these two organizations. And I do think that it's important that we make sure to set up the next generation as much as we can. I'm not saying to vote this down. I think that if you want to table it to next meeting, you can. But I do think that if they don't attend next meeting, I would like the chance to present it for the sake of the incoming officers and not to kind of disadvantage them. And maybe I can see if the incoming officers could present it themselves potentially as well. So I'll follow up on it. That's it.
Any more points for debate? Seeing none, all those in favor for tabling this till next meeting? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes, and that is tabled for next meeting. We'll be now moving on to 46S EBC 161 for TAPI. Do we have a speaker? And this is for the $2,500 resolution.
Okay. Yeah. So, hi everybody. My name is Jacob Levesque. I'm also joined by Jackson Haskell, who's the treasurer of TAPI. I'm the president of TAPI. Before I go into the resolution, I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about what our club does. So, TAPI stands for Technical Association of the Pulp and Paper Industry, and essentially our club focuses a lot on career development opportunities for engineering students, as well as forestry students. And this semester, we're looking on going to a TAPI student summit trip, which is going to be explained a little bit more by Jackson. So I'll let you go ahead and do that, Jackson.
Yeah, sure. So the TAPI Student Summit trip, we're planning to send 12 people. It's over winter break on the weekend of Martin Luther King Day, and it's in Birmingham, Alabama. So it's a pretty typical like student conference. It's hosted by the TAPI group, and it gives our students a chance to network with other pulp and paper related schools like NC State, Western Michigan, and it's a great opportunity to intermingle with other schools, people in similar career spots as are the students that are in TAPI. On top of this, there's also professional development seminars by industry professionals and a career fair offering job opportunities. So we're requesting funding for that for the flights.
Do you also want me to talk about the other trip as well, just to kind of do that right now, or wait on the other one?
I'm going to have you wait on that because
Okay.
it's two different resolutions, so we have to vote different.
Sounds good.
Okay. Are there any questions for our speakers? VP Bohm?
So I had it marked down in the paperwork, and they might have gotten switched when I filled it out, that it was the 2,500 for your Mexico trip and the 3,500 for the student summit. Can you just
Yeah,
clarify which one?
you are correct. I
you're
misspoke
correct.
when I wanted to talk about it first, but yeah, so we kind of just skipped the gun a little bit there, but yeah, so I talked about Summit first. That's my bad.
Okay, so this is for the Mexico trip.
Okay, yeah, I can explain that real quick. Okay, so the TAPI Mexico trip is going to be designated TREM, which stands for TAPI Research Expedition Mexico. And in the past, we've done bi-yearly trips or every other year where we've gone to Europe and done essentially a cultural exploration of what the paper industry looks like out there, for all of our students who go. Essentially, these trips are meant to be able to tour what the industry looks like out there, pick up any cultural practices that those other countries use, and then essentially bring them back to the United States when these students come back to either college or go on internship, co-op, or other full-time positions. So essentially, the benefit of this trip is to, globally culture more students in what those areas of the world look like. So for this trip, it's in Mexico, and we're looking to ask for funding for our flights for this trip.
Do we have any more questions for our speaker? Senator Vanderwood?
What specifically about Mexico is important to the paper industry?
Yeah. So for Mexico, we've been sponsored by a company called Dale Gip Americas. And essentially what they've done is they run through the University of Maine Pulp and Paper Foundation as a sponsor, and they reached out to have us come down. For context, they're a chemical supplier. So they have a lot of good connections with paper mills and other facilities down in Mexico. And their goal is to go and educate us on what that looks like down there. And for a country that's even so close to us as we are in America, it's going to be a different experience for sure in terms of like how those cultural practices work, even just outside of the paper industry, as well as like how those mills run, whether or not they're more clean, what they do for sustainability practices, stuff like that. So we're really just trying to bring students back with that information.
Sweet, thank you.
Are there any more questions for our speakers? Senator DeLorme?
I may have missed it, or I might be mixing it up. How many students do you have going on the Mexico trip? I know you said 12 for the other trip, but how many was on this one?
So Mexico is also going to be 12, and the distribution of students between the two trips is entirely different, besides me and Jackson, who are both present here in this meeting. Everybody else will be entirely different. So we're sending a diverse pool of students. Most of them for Mexico are going who are underclassmen, so freshmen, sophomore years.
Are there any more questions? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
6-0-0 ought to pass.
I'm now looking for approval of the committee's recommendation. Senator DeLorme?
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Hearing a second, we'll now enter discussion. Seeing none, debate. Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. We'll now be moving into 46S EBC 162, again for TAPI, for a total of $3,500. Is there anything else you'd like to add? I know you kind of covered both of them previously.
No.
If anybody has any, go ahead, Jackson.
I have nothing else to add. Sorry.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
6-0-0 ought to pass.
I'm now looking for approval of the committee's recommendation. Senator Zilog?
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Hearing a second, we'll now enter discussion. Seeing none, debate. Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. We will now be moving into 46S EBC 163 for holiday bonuses.
Okay, hello everybody. I also want to let our presenters know that they don't need to stay on the meeting anymore. You're free to go if you would like. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
But so holiday bonuses. Holiday bonuses are something that we as an organization have done for all of our full-time employees. At least all the years that I've been here, and President Tripp can also attest to that. And it's something that typically takes place where we thank all of our full-time employees for putting in so much of the grunt work that actually makes it so we function as an organization, and for all of the knowledge that they bring to the positions that they have and how they work with students. This year, so we have specific financial policies laid out, or that lay out how we can give holiday bonuses. Um, the first or the major stipulation is that it has a maximum of $1,000, and then it's, I think, half of a bi-weekly paycheck. And so for Pam and for Sean, that's over $1,000, and so they're capped at 1,000 as like their net take home. And for BJ, it's less than 1,000, and so that's why his net take home is 920, if I can remember. Yes, 920. And if you look at the resolution, you'll see that all of the actual totals are that we're funding are above. This is just so that the holiday bonuses have the taxes taken care of them. And even though Pam and Sean are getting different amounts for the same net, it's because they have their taxes set up differently. Just purely that reason, which is why we need more nets to go towards Pam's than we need to go towards Sean's.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, what is the committee's recommendation?
6-0-0 ought to pass.
I'm now looking for approval of the committee's recommendation. Senator DeLorme.
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Hearing a second, we will now enter discussion. Seeing none, debate. Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a clear majority in the affirmative, that passes. Are there any motions that anyone would like to make in the moment?
Oh,
Senator Sparks?
I move to enter executive session so we can proceed with executive evals.
Second.
Hearing a second, we'll now enter discussion. Debate. President Tripp.
Sorry, I couldn't find the raise hand button before discussion ended. This needs 2/3 vote. That's it.
Great. Any more points for debate? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? All abstaining? Seeing a 2/3 majority, that passes. We'll now be entering executive session. And so this means if you're on your device, you need to be off other than what you're currently doing Zoom on. And anything that is said during this time stays in this Zoom. It does not continue anywhere else. President Tripp.
We also need all non-full members to exit the Zoom link. So ACERAC, you're going to have to make it non-private, and for everyone who's still sticking on, either if they're doing the what's it called, Senate viewership or presented. Thank you for coming, but we'll need you to leave now.
VP Baum.
Do we want to end the recording now?
Yes.
Don't we also need to do roll call?
Yes, we do.
Please. Okay. I didn't realize Mike was on when I just did that. All right. It's like buried in my. And then Nate, will you just double check that everybody who can be here is here? Actually, you know what? No, no, no. I'm just gonna do this. I'll do the same thing that I did last time. That was really effective, where I just marked you off from the attendance sheet. So Cynthia, you can just enter into it as long as everyone in here is a full member of StudentGov. Let's just do it that way.
Okay. It still looks like we are recording, are we not? UMSG. Sorry. The special orders and announcements where any member of UMSG may address the GSS for no more than 5 minutes. Do we have any speakers? Senator Sparks.
Okay, so we just did exec files. Thank you guys so much. I will get the results back out before next Senate to all the execs so they can look at everything that people have written, and then so they have it before the next meeting. Just so everybody knows that that's the timeline that I'm going to be working on. Thank you guys so much. That's all.
Do we have any more special orders or announcements? President Tripp.
I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for taking the executive evaluations. I know we all look forward to kind of reflecting on those. Cabinet tomorrow, for those that it applies to, 8:30 per usual. Yes, Senator DeLorme, I'm glad you're excited. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys next week for our final meeting of the semester. Thank you guys.
Any more special orders or announcements? President Tripp.
Sorry, one last thing. I think that maybe you all remember I made some promises about a Buchanan meeting for our final meeting. That's not happening anymore. I'm sorry, I forgot to update you. A bunch of things changed over for the Buchanan. It'll now be our second meeting next semester. And that is when the student leadership gala is going to take place. And it was because Buchanan got double booked that day. So don't show up to Buchanan, show up to the Bangor room.
Any more announcements? Seeing none, if it's the pleasure of the Senate, in place of roll call, President Tripp will take attendance. I'm now looking for a motion to adjourn. Senator DeLorme.
Motion to adjourn.
Hearing a second, if it's a pleasure of the Senate, we are now adjourned. Thank you for everyone for a successful meeting. And it's weird that it's on Zoom, but thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone.